Welcome friends. Today we will learn about how to secure our password. Why password is necessary? It is necessary to identify a human being or a machine, but identification itself is not sufficient. After that identification, appropriate authentication is required. Method of authentications in the computer network are what you know, for example password, what you have, for example smart cards or any token, what you are, that is biometrics, and where you are, your physical location as found out by your geolocation system. Authentication of what you know can be a word, a story, a poem, an image, a sequence of certain events, or a phrase. Whereas what you know will have is a short-term memory which you remember for a very short period of time, and long-term memory which you remember forever or for very long time. The password storage mechanism which exist today are that password is stored in a plain text form or an encrypted form, or a hash value of the password is stored, and a superior system stored a salted hash value in the system. The passwords are threatened by various mechanisms at various point of time. The threat to password exists at its entry point, it exists at the rest, it exists while it is transit, and it exists due to the human failure. A password at entry point can be guessed by people through shoulder surfing, meaning they see when you are typing in the password guessing, they know something about you and use that as for password guessing. The key logger, the hardware which comes and logs your key, or the spyware which records your every activity into the computer system. Password which is lying at rest exists in SAM or shadow file, which can be extracted and applied to dictionary attacks, brute force attacks, encrypted vulnerability attacks, and rainbow table attacks. Password in transit are captured over Ethernet, while they are in plain text, capture a Wi-Fi network, capture on internet, and can be seen before they are put to the server and encrypted. Encrypted session key, if stolen, can also take away the passwords, or when encrypted password lands at the source document before it gets encrypted, can also be stolen. There is a threat of human failures also. A person can have multiple IDs and hence multiple passwords and forgets between them. The size of password can also creates problem for a human being. The complexity to add a character, to add an alphabet, to add a capital, to add a numericals also creates a human failure. So perforce a human being tend to write it down. Once he writes down, it can be seen by somebody else and password gets stolen. There is a requirement for frequent changing of passwords so that the password stays in date, and then the social engineering attack also can come through which the password can be stolen. The solution to such problems lies technology-wise a single sign-on, where you sign only once, you use single username, user ID and password. Thereafter the system has its own mechanisms to have different user ID and password for you. Then the two-factor authentication is another mean which can reduce your password complexities for a human being, where two-factor authentication in one-time password or one-time code can be generated and sent on your mobile phones, or you have a smart card, or you have a like ICICI Bank a card, some code written behind you, and such codes are challenged to you and you answer through the challenge reply mode. There's another method which is where the single passwords are required, where the passwords have no other secondary mechanism available, or for some reason secondary mechanism has not been activated. You need to choose a password which is long. Length of the password today has become much more important than its complexity. Complexity is less important than the length of the password. Longer a password, more secure it will be That's how in today's environment. Tomorrow it may change. Yesterday it was different when the complexity was necessary. So today complexity is not as necessary as the length of the password is. So example of a choosing, how do you choose a password? You can choose a password, just write a simple sentence which you'll never forget, that I went to school at Delhi. So if you went to school at Delhi, you'll never forget you went to school at Delhi. Or at so and so place you met your spouse first time, or met your friend first time, or an event in life, or a song which you always consider the most important, which you will not forget a first line of that song, anything like that. And if complexities are required, then some system do not take space bar. If they don't take space bar, then you can write a continuous phrase at I went to, you can convert to figure 2 at the rate to, and then that's a reasonably complex password. And then if you want, you can add a special character in between, and it is as innovative as you can be, but you should have minimum of 13 to 15 length character password for a secure communication. Thank you.